or I can't hear you guys.
I could yell louder.
Now, wait. Now it's gone.
This is the part where Dread edits, so here's a clap.
The clap.
Alrighty then, guess who is back? Hello and welcome to a Destiny Community Podcast for Guardians and a Guest, episode number 12. With me as always, I have Selena.
Meow, meow.
I have BC.
My precious.
And I got Dread doing double duty.
Yes, I do know how to ride a lore bit.
Very good. And our special guest this week is a friend of the show and an overall friend. Been gaming with him for about 5 years. Second time on the show, but first time by himself. It is TDS. TDS, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back.
Excellent. Before we get started, we are sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is a free app that you upload to your desktop or your phone. You put your podcast on Anchor, and they distribute it to many different locations. This particular podcast, you want to hear an audio version of it, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Podcast, you can go to Google Podcast, and we are there. Coming up, we got some shady questions. We have a hot topic from Selena. We got lore bits from Dread, but first, as always, is the guest interview, and that's all about BC and TDS. Have at it, guys.
Thank you very much, Shady, and thank
You're
you
welcome.
for joining us again, TDS.
Absolutely, BC.
So, the first time you were with your son, so this time we get to ask some more risque questions since he hasn't joined us. Hopefully it's not too bad. Just joking. We're going to start off with the new season. It's started. What are your impressions of the new season, the new raid?
New season is kind of basically the same stuff as the old one. Do a bunch of bounties, get your engrams, decrypt them, and then keep doing it over and over again. Override is interesting enough with being a little different, but I have a feeling it's going to get tiresome real quick after 2 weeks, 4 weeks. As far as the raid goes, I love the fact they brought back a D1 run.
Woo, woo.
I hope they bring back King's Fall. Actually, I hope they bring all of them back. That would be awesome. And they've made the new one just hard enough where it's not easy. It made it a little bit different, so I think it's good they brought it back. And I've been playing a lot of D1 over the last couple of months, just because I've been getting tired of the end of the season in D2.
I actually haven't had a chance to play the new raid, but I've seen some videos on it. It does look a little bit interesting with some of the new mechanics, so I'm looking forward to getting into it myself, although it may take me a while. That's a wonderful thing, though, that you're enjoying the content. Transitioning from enjoying the content, there were some things that came out in the TWAB, and previous information about changes that they were making with weapons and with just quality of life within the game. How do you feel about that? RNG with some of the with some of the activities, do you feel like that carried over? I know last season there were some problems with RNG with during Nightfalls getting specific weapons and their drop rates. Do you feel like they carried that on, or they kind of went backwards with it?
I think there's still problems with it. I know. I can't remember what the strike was called, but where you got the palindrome as a drop.
Mm-hmm.
I did it maybe 5 times and got 3 out of 5 drops of the palindrome, only doing it on Hero. No, second line.
Was that Proving
that's
Grounds?
Hero. It's the Proving Ground strike.
Yeah.
I have done at least 20, if not 25, Nightfalls now with Fallen Saber. Haven't gotten one hung jury. And that was my favorite gun in D1, so that's all I've been doing this week. A little irritated.
That's a bit rough.
That's RNG for you, though.
Yep.
I mean, they say it's random, but people that kind of have bad RNG seem to continue to have bad RNG. Is it really random?
Spike.
See, yep, I got my eyes at tomorrow. I've probably done. I think I had less than 10. And Spike said, what, 30,
Yeah.
if not 40?
You mean how
thought
many
they were
raid
gonna-
clears he has?
Yeah.
Spike has over 80. I think he's
And
like
he
maybe
still
over
hasn't gotten it?
90. He's definitely approaching 100, like somewhere in that general vicinity.
I don't
of
think I
clears
broke 10.
with no, yeah. No
I thought there
eyes
was
of tomorrow.
talks about them actually putting a cap on clears. Like if you get 20
Maybe.
clears, they would give it to you. But I got
Maybe.
20 clears and don't have it,
There's
so
talk about
that's
a lot of
clearly not a thing.
Yes, RNG, love it, hate it. It's what it is. Necessary for a looter shooter though. If you get everything too easy, then you stop playing. If it's too hard, you stop playing. Kind of hard
There's
to
a
balance
difference. It's the difference between too easy and impossible, though.
that. Bungie, fix the drop rates, right?
Yeah.
Does TDS have a
Okay.
question for us?
Not right now. Get back to me.
Well,
I like
Maybe.
I've got
like
one
it.
more. I've got one more for you. With you playing the same event over and over again, do you listen to music while you play? And if so, what kind of music do you like to listen to?
I really don't listen to music while I play, just because I want to be able to hear the game.
Okay.
And if I like throw on Netflix or something else on my phone, I end up sitting and staring at that instead of the game too much. So if I'm playing, I've pretty much got the game I got the game on, and that's all I'm doing.
So focus just 100%.
Yep. I'm getting older, so I get distracted easy.
Adult onset ADD, is that what it is?
Squirrel.
Last chance, TDS.
Ooh,
question,
shiny.
question for any of us or all of us? What do you got? Anything?
How's the podcast going?
A little
I heard
slow.
This is your 12th episode. So ups,
Actually,
downs,
I'm going to be doing
improvements.
some stats toward the end, so you tell me how it's going after that.
All right. So basically, you asked me to ask you a question, and then say, "Shut up, wait till the end." Fair enough.
But before we move on, I want to clarify what TWAB means. TWAB stands for This Week at Bungie. I have civilians that don't game that watch my podcast. So I want them to feel like they know what we're talking about. So I try to clarify stuff when we
We
can.
might have lost Selena.
Oh, we lost
She's back.
Selena.
Well, yeah, she left. All right, her spot's not up till after Dread. So
She'll be
Dread's
back.
up with lore bits. So Dread, the
Okay.
stage is yours.
Hey,
I want the
thanks.
voices. I want the cool voices.
I'll do my best. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at stalling for time. I'm trying to get my notes up, but the last time
We waited an hour.
we had a lore bits. Last time we had lore bits, we were talking about how the three Hive sisters, the heirs of the Osmium throne, they just accepted an offer from the worm gods and would start to live their lives as servants of the deep. So we'll continue from there. Suvu Arath, after their transformation and they took the new names, like Suvu Arath was going to go and raise a huge army, and Sathona would go on to be a little tricky witchy mama and would even trick her siblings for the deep if it came to it. Arix would do more than understand the world and its doom and go on to be that doom. Now, they had the ability to take revenge on their enemies, but that would go on to do more than... I'm sorry. Now that they had the ability to take revenge on their enemies, they would go on to do more than just seek revenge. Now they live to conquer. As we know, Urash, he took the form of the King Moth and transitioned to male and became Oryx. As the three siblings transformed, they learned the new law they would live by. Their worms spoke it into their minds. Existence is the struggle to exist. And anything that doesn't fight to exist is a flaw in the universe. And flaws in the universe need to be wiped from it. The worms demanded the newly transformed siblings to spread their larvae to all in the osmium core, and the krill all transformed into something stronger and more resilient. Any that refused the larva would run to Toak's side, that backstabbing insurrectionist. With the rightful heirs of the osmium throne returning, Toax, the insurrectionist group would have to flee. Toax went around Fundament and gained support of many others. Finally, the worms commanded Zuvuarath to go and wipe out and take revenge on Toax and her army. With all the death and destruction, the worm gods had enough power to leave Fundament. All the while shit was going south fast for Toax, she ran away and hid on one of Fundament's 50 moons. The three sisters were like, hell no, we're coming for you, we made a pact, we want our revenge. So Sethona crafted these ships, and with the power of the worm gods, the krill were free from Fundament and released into the universe. They located Toax. She was hiding on a moon of Fundament that was occupied by a highly advanced civilization, the Ammonites. 5 points to anyone who can guess what this civilization's reason for being so advanced was.
The Traveler.
If you guessed the Traveler hung out above their moon, then you would be correct. The worm gods, they tried to get the Ammonites to join the cause of the deep, but they were like, nah, I'm good. Got the power of the Traveler in the palm of my hands. This really pissed off the worm gods, and the new rivalry would be formed. But we'll save that for next week.
Nice job, Drud. Very good.
That's the end of lore bits this week, and hopefully we'll find a resolution soon, which probably not, because we're still going through this shit.
I feel like we're listening to like a 1950s radio show or something. Like the stories unfolding week to week.
Worse.
Nah, that's fine. You're fine. Okay, up next, Lena, what is your little segment called?
It's called Hot Topics.
What do you got for us this week?
I'm going to go with, kind of obvious again, I'm going to go with The Raid. It's been out for almost a week now, and World's First was a thing. And congratulations to Clan Elysium on that. Go World's First. It was a little different because I have not done the raid, so I should not say we. You did have to complete the raid and then complete it on challenge mode. So you did have to complete it twice to be able to get the World's First. There was the hot topic. The hot part, though, is there was a little bit of drama going on with some of the people that were running second for a minute, and one of their 6 players, one of their unfortunate names. I don't know if any of you guys heard about this. The unfortunate name was #Black Lives Don't Matter.
Ooh.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Rough. So it kind of like threw a little sour note on, like, you know, there was a lot of uproar about people mad that they had the potential to get World's First. Like I said, they were running second for a while, and then I guess they might have possibly gotten blown out of the water by Elysium. Both are PC clans that were running this. But yeah, and there was some backlash from Bungie. They were reprimanded. The clan was not given their the 16 was not given their rewards for like finishing anything and getting world's first within the 24 hour whatever time limit thing. And I believe hashtag yeah was banned. So there's
So they
some
played
justice.
on PC, but they were not PC.
I see what you did there.
But
Much
yes.
better.
Much
better.
That was much better. You're making light of. I mean, yeah, but bring some humor into this because
Fair.
that's some bullshit, in my opinion. I'm like, dude, why? So little round table on just generally like was that a good decision by Bungie, and like what are some stupid names y'all have come across? I think we've discussed this before. There was one where I kill puppies. I just wanted to murder this person whose name was I kill puppies.
Turds are yummy.
Yeah, turds are yummy. That's one that you've seen.
Yep.
That one made you. That one offended you.
It was a capital R, so it wasn't like ARE, but it was spelled out turds, capital R, and then yummy. But speaking about the world's first, I have a question for everybody in the party right now. Everybody in the podcast. And does anybody have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
no.
I mean, yes, but I rarely use it.
Well, I have a challenge. I don't know who the world's first team was, but they probably have a semi-famous leader and probably a semi-famous second leader. What if the sixth person on the team might want to come on to a podcast like this one and talk about the
look
world's
into
first?
it. I mean,
So, give a tweet, tell them, hey, I'm a host on a podcast. We get about 200 views a week. We're fledgling. We'd love to have you come on for, however long you want. It could be for an hour. It could be for 5 minutes. Just explain what, getting world's first meant to you and how you guys went through it, how you figured out the puzzles and stuff like that. I'm just throwing it out
give
there.
it a shot.
I mean, you don't ask, you don't get.
No, you can definitely give it a shot. You just have to find these guys.
Yeah, find out.
We're
and then,
coming for you.
See if they have a YouTube channel, or if they get 1 million views. I'm not going to ask them, but if we get someone that gets 1,000 views, they might want to come on. Just saying, we can reach out.
Just saying.
Try it
Okay.
out.
Anything else, Selena?
But I think Bungie did them right. Like,
I think
what,
you
they
should,
banned the guy, right?
You should
They
err
did.
toward caution.
They banned him,
Good.
and then they took away any rewards that the full team would have gotten.
And also, if somebody was wanting to be part of my fire team and they had that name is clearly to
Right,
Yeah.
and
to
and that was
discriminate
another
against
thing that
people. I would
people
not have them a part
were
of my
angry about.
team.
Like, how did that get past any kind of censor or what filter?
Any filter, yeah.
Yeah, like how did
Isn't that the
that?
Steam people that come up with the name?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah. Okay, it made
Well,
it past
He
those,
probably
but
had
it
a
made it
regular
past
name and
the
then just
fire
changed
team,
it right at
too.
the end.
Right. Well, I mean, you would think that the
That's messed
people
up.
that were on that fire team were complicit, at least with okay, that's an okay idea to have, and
Yeah, so
I'm
all of
okay
them
with
should have been
running with you.
punished. So I'm good. I'm good with
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, they weren't
They're
all
accessories.
banned.
They're
That
accessories
person was
after
banned.
the fact.
I mean, that person will just make another account
That's
that probably is.
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
bring it back in.
spitefully as distasteful. So
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
also they're just trying to troll. So us just talking about them is just getting what they want.
They accomplished their goal. That's true.
Yep, it's a troll. That's what it is.
oh, okay. I mean, troll or not,
No,
Oh,
Bungie did them right.
I would like
It's-
Let's
BC's
not get
opinion
mad
on this
about
one,
it.
though. BC?
Oh, come on.
yeah. You just put that man on the spot.
That's not singling me out because of
You're a member of this
specific
podcast, and you haven't
reason.
answered yet.
I think it shines a little bit of light on some other issues with free to play. I like the idea of free to play, but because you can create an account just over and over again, so they banned that name. they may ban that person for a little while, but they can, hop on a different platform and be back in with the things that you've said plenty of times. Gamers are such an inclusive community as a whole. To have somebody, especially on a platform like that, as big as Destiny is, to do that, just really kind of puts a sour note to all the things that the gaming community has done, or Destiny communities has, the Destiny community itself has done. There's so many good things that have happened, but to shine light on something that's so ignorant, is it's really hard, and it kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Like,
But
I
the
didn't
good
even know
thing is
about it
this
until now.
Destiny community does far outweighs the negative and toxicity. I mean, far outweighs it.
I mean, the positives definitely outweigh the negatives, I believe, but it's still unfortunate that like those things like slip through the cracks, that those things weren't filtered out. And I wonder, like, is it possible to like ban an IP address? Like,
I think that technology
is
exists. I'm not sure why they don't.
I would, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
If they want to put that much effort into it, but it's
Leave
mean,
us
highly
if you
unlikely.
know, leave us an answer in the comments. But yeah, I just that was
What is it?
a
Clay is clutch comes to
topic.
mind.
What is
Clay is clutch comes to
Clay is
mind.
Clay is clutch? Is that a player?
Yeah, that's a player where he was in PvP and everything, known for hacking and everything, and he'd get banned and come back just
Oh,
over and over again.
yeah,
And free, like I said, it shines a light on free to play. You want to be inclusive. You want to try to
yeah,
have as many people, but when you
yeah.
can do
When you
you
get like
right,
those toxic cheaters, and you get like people who, or well, toxic in general, whatever. But like, yeah,
I, bel
it does sour
I believe
the
it was
experience.
I saw a Aztec Ross video, and his idea was keep the free-to-play players out of the normal Crucible, give them their own little toxic area to play.
Tee.
Nah, nah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Because there's a lot of, I don't know, people that don't have as much skill as some people who might have been playing a little while, but I see where the free-to-play to try to keep them out of some of the playlists on PC, but we're having, cross-play gonna be coming up here really soon. What, in the next couple weeks they're gonna be beta testing it. So that could become an issue for us with the hackers. So I'm not really sure where I stand on that. You guys seen that news about the beta testing for crossplay?
Yes. There's like 2 days where we're gonna do crossplay with some of the like the basic stuff. I would assume Crucible,
I just hope we
Strikes,
have the option to turn it off.
some
At least the
playlists. I
fire
think
team
no,
leader
it sounded
should
like it's
have
gonna be its own little like clickable area. Like
I know,
where
but for the beta test it will be. But down the road, I hope that I can turn it off to where I can only play with console players, or even I want to just shut it down to where I can only play with PlayStation players if I so choose.
right.
I hope I have that option down the road.
Choice is good.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
time for shady questions, and the first one is always about. Wow.
Zah.
Real quick, this doesn't have to be a 20-minute conversation. What would you prefer, breakfast pizza or dessert pizza? Selena,
Breakfast pizza.
TDS,
Breakfast pizza.
BC,
Breakfast pizza.
and our pizza expert, Dread.
I've never had breakfast pizza, so I'm going to go ahead and say dessert pizza because I've had that.
Okay, I'm more of a breakfast pizza person. Imagine
I've never
pizza
had this
with
breakfast pizza.
with scrambled eggs all over it, bacon, sausage, and cheese.
Oh no, I can imagine it. It's basically a breakfast burrito, but flat version, right?
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Sausage, but
So
it's
yeah, I'd say that'd be pretty
like a
good.
cheesy gravy instead of like a marinara sauce kind of thing.
You know, I'll have to throw a shout out here. Mouth could make. I mean, she's a good cook, in general, but she would make breakfast pizzas with some like smoked sausage or something like that, and it was 100% on point. Just
Yum yum.
yeah, buddy.
Okay, next question. This is I'm curious to see how everyone's going to answer. I have a feeling I know, but I'm really not all that sure. Are you a leader or a follower? And I want to start with TDS.
Depends on what we're doing. I have no problem sitting back and following with the flow, but obviously I have to take charge from time to time.
Okay, BC.
I am generally a leader, but I am aware of my shortcomings and don't have a problem with allowing somebody that is more informed to lead.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the boss to rely on the people he hired. You know, that's why he hired them to give him some
Well,
support.
no, I can. I my pride is not so much that I can't ask for help or realize that somebody could do a better job at spearheading something.
Gotcha, Dread.
Uh, I would say mostly I'm a leader in most situations, but I honestly hate it because it's a lot more work to be a leader because you always have to think of everybody else. You can't just do what you're gonna do and go home at the end of the day. You have to literally think about what everybody else is doing and make sure we're all working towards the same goal. But and I've kind of like trying to step away from that role. It like as I got older because I was like, it's a lot of work to be a leader, and I don't know if I want that much responsibility. But
Because you're held accountable
when
if anything goes wrong.
exactly, and if stuff is falling apart around me, there's there's nothing I can do but pick up the pieces or pick up the reins and just like start leading because that's just the kind of person I am. But
Gotcha.
also goes along a lot of what BC. I totally agree with what he says. Like if somebody else is way more qualified or knows way more than me, I'm like, please show me. I will follow you. Please do not make me lead these people. I don't want to. I don't want to take them down the wrong road.
Very
So
good.
yeah.
Selena.
I guess if I have to break my character down into such pedantic terms, uh,
Oh,
just teasing. Basically the same thing most everybody said. I'm typically though I like to take direction from people who know what the fudge they're doing.
Ooh, that's okay.
mm,
That's the first time in like 6 weeks, but go ahead.
It's late enough in the podcast. It's fine. I'll edit it.
uh, I'll allow it. But yeah, I have absolutely no problem taking the reins when they need to be taken. I hate chaos. I like
I
order.
gotcha. For
I
my
have a
answer, what? Okay, go ahead, BC.
I have a. Oh, sorry, I didn't
No, go ahead.
hear. No, go ahead. My
I
question is
go
a follow
last,
up.
so you got to go now.
Okay, ooh, so bossy.
I'm a leader. What can I
Shady
say?
can take charge. Look at that.
So with that, I wonder. I figure you ask like 100 people, and a good 90, 95 of them are going to say that they're leaders because nobody wants to admit that they're a follower. Does that come into play here, or could it be just like we're gamers, so we naturally like try to lead in things because of our competitive nature? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
I think that's partially maybe coincidence, and also you're onto something. But also, from my answer, it's from my life experience, from what I've experienced in the workplace and in friend groups and stuff. And it's like that's where my answer comes from. Is like people look to me, and it's like, please, it's just my work ethic. I think at the end of the day, that makes me more of a leader. But I'm almost 30 years old. I don't want to be the leader. That's a lot of work. I want somebody else to do the bulk of it, and I can just do a really good job at what they tell me to do. You know?
Okay. For my answer, it depends on what I'm doing. That's much like TDS. In the real world, I'm very much a leader. I mean, I'm a manager at my job. I run the pantry, and anyone that has any questions about food comes to me, and I give them direction, if not training. But when it comes to gaming, I love being a support character. You put me on a strike, I'm the last one in the room, but I'm the first one to pick you up. And I will bow from a distance and help you out much as I can. I do not want to be the first one into the boss fight, but when I'm playing with blueberries, more times than not, I have to be. Okay, next question. Interesting one. You only have one more day to live. What do you do on that day? Dread?
I would say probably something pretty reckless. Maybe something that if you literally had one 24-hour period of time to live, maybe something that I was like, oh man, that might kill me. But so I want to do it maybe, or it could be fun. But oh man, that shit could probably kill me, so I probably shouldn't do that. Probably a lot of that stuff. Like I just got a motorcycle, and I've wanted a motorcycle for a long time, but I'm like, oh, I'll kill myself on one of those. I'll kill myself. So I haven't gotten one, but I think I'm old enough to not kill myself now. So I'm gonna start riding a motorcycle.
So.
We'll find out, won't
Like,
we?
and if I do, I mean,
You only lose
well,
in one day. I mean, you can
right.
wait 12 hours and then go for a 100-mile-an-hour drive, and if you die, you only just miss 12 hours.
I mean, that's as fast as you're going.
You do 150, I bet.
Goodness.
Selena.
You think? 24 hours left to live. I would probably find whoever in my past I knew was good. Hopefully, at least good. Hopefully,
Like they give the charity and stuff like that?
yeah, no.
Like
Hopefully,
good
hopefully,
Yeah, no.
good in bed. Just yeah.
I think we all
no,
know
no.
what you mean.
Yeah. That I could, yeah, and then I would,
That you can meow meow.
yeah, for a hot minute, and then I want to like eat a bunch of like, I don't know, potatoes. I really just like. I just want to eat all the potatoes in every single form,
So many
and maybe
potatoes.
like a side of like Alfredo, but not too much because like I don't know, I don't want to
No,
fart because I'm
loaded.
going back in the bed after that. Like I'm gonna carb a load on potatoes and like salt and potatoes.
So you're saying you're gonna do it
And then
the whole time? Just do it.
yeah, well mostly I'm gonna eat potatoes in between.
Eat
Like,
How about
potatoes to get
during?
energy
Eat
back.
potatoes and drink water in between. I'm thinking like baked fingerling smashed potatoes, and like maybe some like baked potatoes with like bacon and salt. And,
You have
like,
given
I
this
said,
some thought.
No
Wow.
dairy because I don't want to be flatulent during the coitus.
Who
So-
cares? You're dying in a day.
That
Your
could
last
potentially
day.
kill
Does it
yourself.
really matter?
It does because I wanna stay in the moment, and that takes you out of it, you know. So,
So
So you're gonna do
regardless of
something
last day or
reckless.
not.
That's gonna
So-
potentially kill you.
So porking and potatoes is what it is.
Thank you.
Not
Yes,
necessarily
yes,
in that
very
order.
good. Pork and potatoes.
Pork and taters.
Pork and taters.
No, I'm not. I'm not porking the taters, Jim.
I mean,
It's your last
Good.
day, Selena. Do whatever you want. That's fine. No one will judge.
Well, it's definitely not pork and taters.
Okay, up next is BC.
I have a kid. That's it. Like
damn, that's sad.
Yeah, that made me sad. That was.
Are you
a buzz
going to
kill.
record
mean-
videos all day and
That
teach them
was
how
a
to be a
butt
man?
kill.
I apologize, but
No.
yeah, no, I gotta
No, that would-
I gotta make sure like if
Yeah.
it's my
That was a
last
good
day, there's everything else can go. Like, man, to you kind of try to prepare your kids for going before them. like everybody, hopefully that's, the way it goes. I never wish the opposite on anybody, but I feel like as much as I would love to do reckless stuff or, pork and potatoes or anything like that, like I I gotta make sure that I leave that legacy right. It's gotta be right.
Damn.
You can
Wow.
you can do a little bit of pork and potatoes in the morning, and then like real early while he's still sleeping.
You got 24 hours, man.
While he's still sleeping, like get it. Just make sure you prioritize like getting up early. Do that
You can
pork
do
and potatoes.
skydiving,
You don't
No,
have to
Rocky Mountain
sleep at
climbing,
all.
and
no,
then
because that could kill him.
quality time.
Oh, there'd be
yeah,
no
that's
That could
true.
kill
You
him.
get a case of Red
Well, it's
Bull
not
and
going
don't
to kill him.
sleep.
He's got 24 hours to do it. So he could do it before
Yeah.
24 hours ended up.
You're guaranteed to die in 24 hours.
No, I know, but I'm just saying in BC's case, he would want to spend as much time as possible with
Yeah.
TARDIS.
Okay, now
So
here's the
you would want to do
situation.
an activity that could possibly kill him and shorten that amount of time.
Here's the situation. TDS is up next, and he has a kid almost the same
Oh.
age. How is he going to answer this one?
He'll be like,
Pork and
son,
potatoes, screw
Yeah,
'em.
it'd be fine.
son, I love you.
D2, no.
Have a good
D1
life.
and D2 marathon.
Like, pat on the shoulder, and then you go
Yeah.
do something. Like, I want to know
Yeah.
what you're going to do, though. I love it, right?
All right, TDS, what's your answer?
Very similar to BC. Basically spend probably a third of the day with everyone hanging out by a fire, family, friends saying goodbye. Then the rest of the day with my wife and kid until the very end. Then I definitely have to make sure I'd go to work to die so my family would get more money.
Oh, nice.
Oh, my.
Way to put thought
Nice
into
one.
it.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Nice
That's funny.
one.
Yeah.
It's like triple the amount if I die at work. So yeah,
Don't worry.
I would have to go to work
I'll
for that
edit
last
this
minute.
part out. Don't worry, I'll
and
edit
just
this
like
part
have
We
a
can't
heart
have TDS
attack,
looking like a nice
Death
guy.
Note style in the middle of the precinct.
All right, my answer is really simple. I would play Crucible for 24 hours. It would seem like a damn week. So,
And also, you would have went through hell, so if you do end up going to hell,
I'm
it'd
used
be-
to it.
Boy, shit. Yeah.
Right.
You're already
got
there. You're going to
experience.
heaven. You couldn't get any worse.
It's like, dude, I was in Crucible for 24 hours. This ain't shit. Shove that
Oh
pineapple up
no,
my ass.
no! There you
Oh
go.
my goodness.
What's your eternal torture? You get to be the crucible tester.
Oh,
yep.
God. You got your own personal hell.
Eternity playing crucible.
Might get good at it, though.
Maybe. All right, this next question is not so shady. I want to leave on a positive note. I've had this as a question of the day in the past. It was a long time ago. Pick a member of this podcast and pick a trait you admire about them. I'll give you a second. This is all positivity. It doesn't have to be game play. It could be something in their personal life or how much you know them. So, does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
I can go first because mine's easy.
Yes.
It correlates with what we just talked about.
Okay.
BC and his love for his kid.
Nice.
Oh man,
Wow, look at you
Nice.
go, BC.
right? I'm working my way. I'm working my way up on the survivor list. People are gonna
Yeah.
start wanting to boot me.
Yeah, that means you get to go next, though.
Well, I'm gonna have to go shady.
Oh.
Man, volunteering and helping people, we've had personal conversations about it, and my daughter, and just the stuff that you do. I fell on hard times. I've been that person that had to walk into a pantry, um, and felt like crap doing it. It was something that I had to do, but I hated the fact that I had to go into a pantry to feed my kids. So
Yeah, but if you walk into my pantry, you're leaving laughing, getting 5 times as much stuff as you thought, and an ice cream bar, just for coming
yes. So hearing the stuff that you do for the community and with the pantry, with my experience walking into one and how I felt and how rough it was, and then also of course my daughter's mission, feeding people and keeping them warm on the inside and out. I just I I admire that.
I
That's all I
appreciate
can
that.
say.
Selena?
Snaps. I'm gonna say Dim. Uh, Dim is genuinely a very good friend and like cares for people. And I think goes out of his way to like make sure that like his friends are good and doing okay and checking up on people. And that's something that I should do more is like actually like people that like I care about. I should like let them know, and I think Dim's really good at letting people know.
I mean, put down the potatoes and porking, I'm guessing.
Oh my god, you're
Sorry.
gonna make
Very
me
good.
cry.
Oh, stop it.
No, I really do care about you all a lot. So, if you ever are missing, I'm gonna be like, oh my god,
Sweet boy, he's
what's
gonna
wrong?
hire a private detective.
I'm gonna find
Okay.
out where you're at.
That's funny.
Dread, you're up
Find
next,
ya.
buddy. Dread, what's going on?
I was thinking about it really hard, and like before, like I even decided this before she said that, but I was gonna say Selena because I love how Selena has. She just. I don't know how you explain it. She has her opinions, and she is just like a strong person, and she has her beliefs, and she'll let you know what they are, and not feel ashamed of them. That's for sure.
Thank you, Dim, for like calling me a bitch in like the nicest
No.
way possible.
That's actually not what I was saying.
That is the name of the podcast.
I'm serious. I'm
There you
serious.
go.
Thank you for
That is the name of the
Scared.
podcast. That is so. Thank you. That was so
You are
easy.
not scared to tell people what you think. And
No, for
believe.
real, and I
And some
appreciate.
people will
like,
just
that
say.
you-
Some people they will just if all of a sudden they realize someone has an opposite opinion, they will just they will just back down. But no, if Selena she believes in something, she will stand strong in that and let you know what she thinks. And I respect that because I can't do that sometimes because the confrontation sometimes is just too much for me. So
I love it.
It's a strong person.
I
I'm just
love
saying,
it.
that's a
And
strong
and
person.
and Dim as a counter response or counter like I love that you know exactly how to push my buttons. So you know.
What?
It's just
Did that make you mad?
No, that I appreciate. Thank you very
Really?
much. Yes,
Okay.
truly.
It's time
Truly,
for
truly.
Shady's
I'm
answer.
glad.
But
It's a
the
good
people
one.
You know so well.
Shady's answer is a good one. I admire each and every one of you for different reasons. I admire TDS for the job he does. He risks his life literally every day being a police officer. That cannot be an easy job. I admire Dred's youth. I wish I was your age. I could experience Destiny for another 30 years.
Don't worry, my knees are catching up on you.
Yeah. And I admire BC and Selena for one unified reason. I love their laugh. I wish I had you guys' laugh. Either one, I would take it. Awesome.
Well, thank you.
So everyone got props that time. Everyone got admired. I'm happy about that. Okay, up next is stats real quick. Views were averaging around 200. Likes we had 10 last week. On my YouTube channel alone, the history of our podcast, I have over 1,300 views just on my channel for our podcast. And that's pretty impressive. Shout outs from last week with comments. 2 people made comments. Dread, you want to say yours? Do you remember? About high school?
Oh, I was in high school 8 years ago?
Do you have a song for us?
13. Wait, do I have a song for us?
That was a question. What song takes you back to high school or junior high?
Oh, yes. Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi. That just takes me right back to high school, man.
You're so
That's-
Wow.
funny.
That
I'm
stuff
so
is
young.
just like that song is so lit. I don't care, man.
Okay, very good. And Zam had a comment again for the
So
second week.
young.
Zam was pretty much telling how great he was. So
I mean,
Hey,
Zam is
you know,
pretty great.
self-promote. He's like, what's
Zam is pretty
what's all
great.
this talk about this Zam guy? But it had his real name by it, but I knew it was him. Okay, that
was only a week ago.
yeah.
I have a question. Weren't there some comments from Mouth and TARDIS? I know they
Not
were
last week.
sending me
The week
messages.
before.
Oh, not last week. That was the
No,
week
not last
before.
week. Yeah. They had some.
Ah.
They made comments in the chat, but not in the comment section. They were calling you a
Ooh.
dork, and they agreed. And you're the only
Oh.
person that can make hip hop sound boring. But that was chat, not comments.
How did I make hip hop sound boring?
I don't know. I didn't make the comment. I didn't make the chat. I didn't put the IM in. I just read it. I don't know what I think you were talking about your high school song.
Boo.
Wasn't it Slim Shady?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, and they
I
made a
don't know.
comment that
Somebody talked about
Eminem
it.
wrote the whole song. You gave like props to somebody else or something. I don't know. Okay, well here's the outro. Where can we find everybody? Let's start with our guests. TDS, where can we find you if we want to find you?
On Destiny, TDS 404. That's pretty much it.
Okay, Selena.
You can find me on YouTube, Selena Kyle 1981. Search it.
Very good, Dread.
You can find me in the club. No, you can also find me in the YouTube.com at Dimdread.
At Dim
DIMDREAD. If you didn't know how to spell it, now you do. Now you know.
You
didn't
barely can spell it.
Yeah, I know. I can barely.
BC.
Knowing is half the battle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So BC on BC Tayman on PlayStation 4. However, I did create another email account for us, and that is 4Gs and a guess at gmail.com, and that's the number 4GSANDAGUEST at gmail.com.
Nice. Well, I am ShadyVale35. You can find me on YouTube at ShadyVale35. No space between the letters and numbers. If you put a space there, you get somebody totally different that gets
Is there
a
any
ton more
capitals,
views.
Shady?
It's not case sensitive.
Okay, thanks.
Before we go, I got a couple of announcements. Our next week's show, because of Memorial Day, will be on Tuesday night. If that's not okay, let me know ahead of time so I can find a guest host. I'm not sure who the guest is going to be. We'll get to that in a second. But on a personal note, I published my 4th short story yesterday. My first
Already
three,
watched and liked.
my first
Watched
3
and
short
liked.
stories got almost 700 views, so I felt obligated to do a 4th one, and I'm plugging it now because on my short story I plugged this podcast, so I think it's fair.
And also, Shady, if they listened it this long, they might be interested in a short story by you.
Maybe, and if this is a short story to the end, they know about this podcast.
And also, I think BC has something to say about listening to the podcast this long. What are you gonna do?
Wait, no, not yet,
Oh,
not yet,
I'm
no,
sorry. There's more
That
announcements.
was
Not
a
yet.
great la- that was
Don't
a-
worry, hey, we can
Dread.
edit this out.
Dread,
That
you
was a
were
good
way out of your
segue.
league here. You're way
I'm sorry.
take a step back.
I can edit all of this out. It's at the end. Nobody's listening to this.
Okay,
I'll
upcoming
edit
guests.
all out.
Upcoming guests, we got Peeps coming up, we got Raz coming up, we got JR coming up, and hopefully Spike and Squad coming up too. And I want Quad on the show. He has the best story ever. So his homework was to watch a couple of the podcasts and want to come on, but I haven't talked to him since. So yes, the clan has spoken. We are done. Thank everybody for being here. Thank you TDS for being here. I appreciate it. Selena, BC, Dread, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. And now BC gets to do his final job.
Okay, here's my good nod. Slap that like button like your mama taught you right.
Excellent. All right. That is show number 12, guys.